So RoboCop Rogue City came out in 2023, and by the way, I'd like to apologize for this video took a lot longer than it should have, and that's because I actually finally started playing this game. I think it was in February or March this year because it was on PS Plus as a free download as a game. So I finally decided to pick it up, even though I had heard great things about this game, especially as a person that, by the way, I love this movie. I love RoboCop. It is one of the greatest sci-fi action satires out there. It came out July 17th, 1987. So literally 38 years ago today, if I'm not mistaken. I'm just going to do my math really quick just to make sure because math is not my strongest. Just give me 1 second. This movie is 38 years old, and that blows my mind. And yeah, by the way, I just want to say right now, this movie, it still holds up to this day. It is that great, not much of a kick-ass movie. This is like one of Paul Verhoeven's best films when he was at his peak as a filmmaker, if you ask me. However, when it comes to the very first time that I saw RoboCop, I actually didn't see it when I was a kid or when I was a teenager. I didn't see RoboCop until I was in film school in college. I think I was, I want to say 21 years old, I want to say, when I first saw this movie, because I know I was in a film appreciation class. Every week they showed us a different film every week, and one of those weeks was RoboCop. And within the first couple of minutes, it was a movie I just fell head over heels over. I mean, this movie is not only such a great sci-fi flick, it's an awesome action flick, it's a great satire as well in some certain aspects. There's also just a great story in there. Although, and I will not deny this, even though I have seen the first movie, I have not seen the sequels. I mean, I keep hearing very, very bad things about the sequels, so I'm just going to keep everything towards the first movie, which, if you haven't seen the first RoboCop, please do so. It's legitimately one of the greatest sci-fi action films out there. RoboCop Rogue City, when I first saw gameplay of this game, it just looked like it would just be a damn good time, and actually a good movie-based game, or a game-based movie, whatever, vice versa. You guys get the point here. And it actually did look like it would be one of those few games based on a film that would actually do the film justice, because let's be real here, guys. When it comes down to games based on movies, there have been some stinkers out there. I mean, quite a few stinkers, although there have been some great ones, and, well, just the build-up is just worn off at this point. I finally played RoboCop Rogue City a couple of months ago. I am still playing it today, and this game is so much fun. This is easily one of the better game tie-in movies. Even though the game is not based on the movie, I mean, it's based in the universe of RoboCop, but the thing is, it's not actually based on the first movie. From what I know, this is actually an original story set in the RoboCop universe, which, if anything, it makes it even a better game, and if you ask me, a much more exciting game. This is easily a game that could have come out, and the Xbox 360 PS3 generation, one of those game tie-in movies that could have come out, let's say, in the late 2000s, maybe the early 2010s era of the Xbox 360 and PS3 generation. RoboCop Rogue City, to me, is one of the few game based on movie properties that is actually worthy of being associated with the classic film that's based on, in this case, RoboCop. How this game starts off, it is such a freaking blast how it starts off. You playing as RoboCop, going into this held up place and just shooting your way, blowing shit up, and just getting constant headshots, taking up these thugs and throwing them against people, or taking a computer monitor and throwing that at somebody, making sure they get just electrocuted. The best way that I can describe this game is by using one word, and that is fun. RoboCop Rogue City is just, simply put, so much fun. It is an absolute blast from start to finish. If I were to give my critique really quick, the storytelling isn't the greatest. I mean, the first RoboCop movie has not only some of the greatest action set pieces of movie, but it actually just have a great story. So it's hard for anything to come after that classic film to have a better story than, the first RoboCop movie. However, what this game does very well, even though it doesn't have the greatest storytelling, everything that happens within the story, like the character interactions, the dialogue, even though some of it can be cringy, but in a good way because it's just fun nonstop. One of my favorite bits when it came down to RoboCop Rogue City was after each mission would sit down with a psychologist who was trying just to get to help you further develop, not really develop your persona, but just help you on a psychological level, because knowing what RoboCop is going through in this game, these interactions I thought were great, and not to mention it as well, something else I gotta talk about when it comes to down to the storytelling within the actual plot of the game was how you interacted with your fellow officers. In particular, there is a great little side mission into where one of your officers is going like, dude, I need your help. There's a huge line. Please just give a take it or dismiss him. Wait, I just need a lot of help here. Even though this one bit was such a minute bit of gameplay and this overall, like, what I think the game is about 15, 18 hours or somewhere right around there. But this one bit of gameplay was fun. And once again, going back onto the thing that I loved about the most about this game, now it's just fun. Another thing that I will not deny is that this game is very buggy. It's very, very glitchy. There are times when you'll be seeing a cutscene where RoboCop interacts with another character, and each time the camera cuts or the camera doesn't edit, there is a split-second like glitch, but then everything just goes back to normal, and this happens quite a few times. But again, guys, the best way I can describe this game, it's like this game was made for that late 2000s, early 2010 style of like game tie-in movies for the Xbox 360, PS3 generation, where the storytelling and the graphics, the bugs, was buggy as can be, it was glitchy as can be, but overall, the gameplay is what saves this game even more so. Another reason why I like this game was because there's this great RPG element to it. Not only the fact that you could upgrade RoboCop so he could be this badass killing machine, but you could also upgrade his gun, the Auto 9, to which that special feature, that element, that mechanic of this game, I thought not only added there's a bit of puzzle solving mechanic to it, but not to mention as well, if you upgrade this gun in just the right way, your Auto 9 will just go all around, just go, and you'll just be knocking people out constantly, or just not knocking people out, but just go. I'm telling you all, this game is just such an absolute blast. And once again, even though the game's story isn't necessarily the greatest, it absolutely is not, because there were so many bits where I just kept thinking, okay, just give me back to a bit where I can just shoot down thugs again, or even go up against a brand new enemy type, which, by the way, one of my favorite bits of this game, which is when you're going into this biker gang and they're just trying to go all around you, and this bit, as a biker just comes right up to you on his motorcycle, we can just take him off and just go, or even better, and this made me laugh so hard every time I did it, you would take a motorcycle from a biker and you would just go, bam, and you would knock not only a biker off the motorcycle, but you just go kaboom. I'm telling you all, the main word that I keep going back to in terms of describing this game is that it is just, fun. It is a blast. It's a great time. It's an awesome time. And sure, and do not get me wrong, the game's story isn't necessarily great. As a matter of fact, it can be pretty damn dull. And is the game glitchy and buggy? Yeah, it absolutely is. And is some of the voice acting not so great? Yeah, but at the same time, I kind of dig the voice acting, especially from the thugs, who I swear to God, they got the same voice actor from, if anything, at least to me, and I don't know if you guys will agree with me, it sounds like that they got like a Trey Parker impersonator to voice all the thugs in this game, because they do sound the exact same. Like every time I heard, "You're gonna die!" Let's give him a walk. I crack up so much just thinking about the enemy AI dialogue, because don't get me wrong, it's very cheesy, it's very corny, and the delivery of this dialogue is so over the top, but in this game, it makes sense because RoboCop has such an over-the-top feel to it in terms of its tone, the execution, especially the action sequences. And sure, the story isn't necessarily the greatest RoboCop Rogue City, and it would have been better, sure, if the storyline was better, but the fact that the gameplay and even just the overall atmosphere of this world, and knowing the fact that you can do some side missions, and not to mention as well, make your gun and make RoboCop an even more so of an unstoppable killing machine as if RoboCop wasn't already. Also, not to mention as well, the breaches are just so much fun, especially with the right weapon, whether if it's with a fully upgraded auto 9, not really full upgrade, but if you upgrade it to your liking, or even more so than a heavy machine gun, you'll be wiping out people non-stop. I could easily talk about this game, how fun it is, for quite some time. The other reason why I'm talking about this game is not only because this movie RoboCop celebrates 38 years. Today is its 38-year anniversary, but also because the DLC for this game, Unfinished Business, is out, but I won't be able to play it, unfortunately, until after this weekend because I'll be out of town. Have a night where you watch the movie or play the game, watch the movie, or vice versa. Just make it a RoboCop theme night. Believe me, you'll have a great night regardless of the way you really, either way you look at it, guys. I hope you enjoyed my video on RoboCop Rogue City. If so, please hit the like button, or if you dislike this video, hit the dislike button. If you guys want to see any of my previous 2 videos, please click on it right there or right there. And of course, until my next review or video goes live, I will see you all next time.